Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Ken Burke, and it is my honor to be bringing to you a presentation on this amazing, I call it a miracle patch. It's a stem cell reactivation patch known as the X39 patch, and I'm going to share with you a presentation that should hopefully get all your questions answered for you so you can have an educated decision on what it is you may like to be able to do with this amazing patch. Do thank the person who invited you, and they cared enough about you. So they've probably seen some things that they're hoping you're getting to see too in relation to the hope it's bringing people that they love and care about. And like it has done for me, my wife, my grandchildren. My wife and I have 11 grandchildren actually, and five amazing children, four married, all out the door. And it's such a blessing to be wearing this amazing technology because our life now, 42 months in on wearing this patch, is so much better, with freedom and flexibility to get on the ground and play with the grandbabies and or get on a plane and put luggage up overhead. My wife and I love to travel now, and so when we're over in Europe, they have all kinds of roadways that are 1,000 years old, 800 years old, or older, cobblestone roads going up and down stairs, and so they don't have OSHA over there. So if you fall down, it's your fault. But it's great to have energy to get up and down these cool little roadways and cafes and these back alley cool ways and it's just great to have energy and vitality and so, and there's so much more. And so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share with you a presentation, and so give me a minute to do that. But you're going to find yourself being one of three people tonight. You may like what you see, but you're what I call a number three. You still want to do more research. Hey, we totally get that. When you hear about what we're going to talk about, it's almost too good to be true. And what do you want to do when something's too good to be true? Hey, you want to guard yourself. You want to say, hold on a second here, let me double check this. Well, hopefully, when you begin to see what I'm going to show you, you realize, no, it's not too good to be true. It's actually science, it's cause and effect, and it's common sense. So that'd be number three. But hey, if you would need to do more research, please, we'll show you how to do that because you can Google this and you may find some good, bad, or ugly. And welcome to the wild, wild west of Google and ChatGPT. It's only as good as its inputs. But the United States government, who patented this product, they didn't Google it. They looked at the science and the data and 80 clinical trials and studies I'm going to show you here in a second, or a summary of it. And on those 80 clinical trials and studies, they said, we're going to give this thing a patent because it does what it says it is. And the Olympic Committee, they have this green lighted for the Olympic athletes to wear this during the Olympics because nothing's going in the body. So, I mean, I've got from my grandchildren to grandmothers and all points in between. This is a wonderfully safe, natural opportunity to be a blessing and to you and the people you love and care about. And so you may be a number two. You may want to find yourself saying, hey, Ken, I like these patches. I want to get some for me and my family. Give this thing a go. And I'm going to tell you, it's very important. You understand that it is 1 month for every 10 years of life. That is what the founder, David Schmidt, who created this product, will tell you. And you're going to learn to, I think, come to respect him here shortly. And so but 1 month for every 10 years of life doesn't mean it's going to take you 3, 4, 5, 7 months to see if this thing works or not. No, it begins to go to work immediately as soon as you put it on you and whether you feel it or not. I didn't feel my gum pockets and my teeth begin to fill in, and I show you my wife's hair begin to grow. But there are a lot of things we get into being to feel, and as our bodies begin to thank us for wearing this technology properly, and so that was that. And then you may find yourself being a number one. The number one is somebody who like what you see. You're kind of excited, and there is a financial reward for those who want to share it and maybe build it even as an opportunity, and who don't have a lot of time to do it, but are excited and want to and feel that the world around them needs to hear about this because no one in the world has this technology. We have zero competition. Hey, the only competition we have are people who just don't believe it or self-doubt, or not want to share it. That's the only competition. Otherwise, we don't have not have a competing product in the world. This thing is 80 countries, patented technology, globally patented as well. And so you would be a number one saying, hey, I'm going to share this with my family and friends. I mean, everybody I know and love and care about has dormant, stem cells who need to be turned back on. And that's how this thing works. And I'll share that with you in a minute. And so you're going to realize that, that this is an amazing opportunity. to be rewarded for something that everybody else really needs. It doesn't mean they're all going to want to wear it or share it, but at least you've got opportunity to present something to them and give an option. And you do it in front of enough people. I promise you, because that's what happened for me and my wife. We began to see what this past weekend it did for us, and we began to share it. As I was still running my 18-man advertising company, working 80 hours a week, I had no time for a side hustle. This was much better. This is a belief hustle, if you will. When you believe something like a good movie or a good restaurant, what it is, what do? Well, you go back to the office next day and you tell people, hey, you got to check out this movie. Or, hey, man, it's a great restaurant. You need to check it out. And so, and you don't be a spoiler alert. You don't tell them about everything about the whole restaurant, the whole wide world, because they're busy working. You just kind of pique their curiosity and let them go take a look for themselves. Same thing with this. You pique people's curiosity, let them see for themselves. And we began to do that. And as we began to do that, we had a lot of people begin to sign up to wear these patches. And I remember we were about 90 days in. My wife and I went on a cruise just to get away from everything. We went to Hawaii and Bora Bora for almost 2 weeks, and we came back $2,500 richer. I'm like, hold on a second here. What happened? I did not put my foot in the gas to make money, but seeing what we saw, it was a blessing. And yeah, that may be you, maybe a number one. You may say, hey, Ken, inflation's been a bummer in my family for the last 3 years. And, I still get paid similar to what I used to, but you know what? I can buy, I don't, but I only get to buy less than what I used to because my groceries are more, electricity is more, car repairs are more, hotel stays are more. Everything's kind of more today, right? And I don't think a lot of our paychecks went up too much more. So this is an amazing way to be able to help knock the edge off. Stress is one of the leading killers of marriages today, financial stress. And here we have an option. If should you decide, and you can simply wear this product as a preferred customer at a wholesale rate, not have to worry about sharing anything with anybody. And it's kind of like Mary Kay. Mary Kay, you just wear the makeup. You don't have to worry about trying to earn the pink Cadillac, But so you have options in this presentation, but I'm going to present all of it. And then you, like a buffet, can pick what you like from it and determine if you're a three, two, or one. Then let the person know who invited you how you see yourself getting started next. And they'll be happy to help you do that. And so without any further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen with you and we'll run from there. Let's hold on one second, everybody. Sound. All right. So as you can see here, the question is, say here, have you been patched yet? And because here's what's going to happen. Once you put this patch on, it's going to elevate a specific peptide. When that peptide elevates, it's going to begin to activate a whole lot of wonderful things in your body. One of them is your dormant stem cells. And then when those dormant stem cells turn back on, your body's going to be able to regenerate. And thank you for it. And you're going to begin to get excited. And this gentleman right here, his name is David Schmidt. He is the CEO and inventor of this technology. 21 years ago, the Navy SEALs hired this guy to figure out a way to keep them awake underneath the water like 30 hours or more in these specialized submarines. And David believes the good Lord above gave him the insight to create this patch technology, which works off light in the body, nothing goes in the body. Well, it was two patches like this that work together in concert with each other, leveraging the fat cells in the body to create energy. It worked. That led to the Berkeley swim team practicing for the Olympics, using them. That led to Michael Phelps during the Olympics wearing this technology. And so from that, David got notoriety. And then Serena Williams, David Beckham, they started wearing these other patches too. Matter of fact, Serena Williams to this day, she wears this patch as well now. So, but David then began to create other patches. And then in 2008, he turned his attention to stem cells and age reversing. In over 10 years, 80 clinical trials and studies, he finally figured this one patch out, this 39th version, thus the name X39, got it patented in 2019, and the product pretty much came to market in 2020. And what happened in 2020? COVID hit. The whole world began to shut down. But yet, this company, which was only doing about 20 million a year with these other patches over 15 years, all of a sudden went from 20 million, shot up to like 80 million to last year. We believe right at end of 2025, we came in right under $1 billion in revenue from 20 million outside of COVID with no advertising budget. 80 countries. What happened? Well, the other patches were good, but none of them turn on your dormant stem cells. That's the holy grail of rejuvenation and repair and healing. And that created a buzz. And that drove the awareness of this product worldwide. And bam, here you are. So, and here is this patented technology. No one in the world has this technology, not till 2040, anyways. This patent is good to 2040. And out of this 31-page patent, there's an excerpt here. I'll read part of it. It says it's going to elevate a peptide, including activating stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improvement in wound healing. Man, I've seen some amazing things in wound healing. That's just to name a few. All those things are based on the clinical trials and studies poured into the patent. You cannot patent a placebo, righty? And so this is science, and with huge benefit. So what's the story? The very first cell you and I were in the womb was what? That was a stem cell. And then what did it do? It morphed into every cell we now are. And then by God's design, he gave us a certain reserve of those for healing, repair, and restoration, rejuvenation. And so when you're 8 years old, you broke a bone, your brain did what? It sent its own stem cells there, and they morphed into bone, marrow, tissue, ligament, joint, meniscus, whatever the brain told it. Well, guess what? When you're 80, that doesn't happen. Why? Because by the time you and I are 30, half of our stem cell activity is now asleep. It is dormant. Aging now sets in. All right. And the slower you heal. By the time you're 60, 90% are dormant. Aging's in full blown bloom. You look at your skin, and look how you feel. And getting repaired from injury takes way longer. And so, heaven forbid, you break a bone or break a hip at 80 years of age, right? And so, until now we have the ability to turn these stem cells back on. You and I, not only for ourselves, but think about the people you love and care about right now. You can be the next miracle for them. And I'll share more about that in a second. But how this thing works is it works off light therapy, a proprietary form of light therapy. When the sunlight hits our skin, the body responds by elevating vitamin D. There is no vitamin D in the sun rays. Well, this is different. This is the sun, this is the light, excuse me, inside your body called infrared light. Infrared light is always emitting out of our body through the heat in our body. You can see it, right? And so what happens is that infrared light has a mathematical frequency that reflects off this patch, boom, boom, back in the body. And when it does, it elevates this peptide. And then in doing so, the brain additionally goes into gear and starts turning on your dormant stem cells. Absolutely fascinating because nothing is going into your body. No drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants. There are no stem cells in this patch. The stem cells are in your body waiting to be turned back on. And so it's an amazing opportunity to bring hope. And you're not injecting someone else's stem cells in your body. Because think about it, the older that person is, if you're injecting someone else's, the less stem cells activity they have, less stem cell activity you have. And that's why they try to give out from umbilical cords or aborted fetuses overseas, right? Ugh, not a good thing. Where when you turn on your own, it's the same as if it's your own baby stem cells coming back alive. Right? Because they're going to a younger state. My 94-year-old mother-in-law who developed throat cancer, she was small and frail, and the doctor said, "Oh, we're going to put her in hospice." We said, "No, you're not." So I said, "Okay, we're going to give her isolated radiation." Gave her isolated radiation. We put the patch on her at the same time. And to the amazement of her oncology nurse of 20 years, I said, "Hold on, why no burn marks, why no swelling?" And her beautician said, "Lorraine, what's with your hair? Why is your hair growing back thicker and faster now? What's going on with you?" And so how is that? Because like she was a child again, her body was beginning to youthfully regenerate itself. And I can show you this with my wife and what happened with her and her hair. It's kind of amazing, and think about what would happen for you wearing this and people you love and care about. What could happen for them? What are they going through right now that they could use some hope in? What are you going through right now that you could use some hope in? Where you could use some optimum, health and wellness improved. You like to exercise, man, you're going to get stronger. Improvement in strength, if you like the back squat or bench press or something, you're going to get stronger. Improvement in stamina, healthy energy flow. I mean, there's so many wonderful things that begin to occur by wearing this patch, and some of the long-term results of this thing is, hey, the collagen in your body is going to elevate. We have a vascular surgeon on that shares this patch. His wife had Crohn's disease. Now, we can't share this, by the way, on the internet there because we can't talk about this in the term as if it's going to treat, cure, or heal anything. I'm not claiming it did. I'm just saying that this is what happened, that she had Crohn's disease for decades And after an X period of time, less than 2 years wearing this patch, now today, every 6 months, no trace of it. And this vascular surgeon, it's his wife that had this, and to the amazement of him and to the surgeons as well, what's happened for her. But he said also about collagen, he goes, because he's a vascular surgeon, he's got spider veins and veins, he deals with surgery and what have you. He says because this elevates collagen production, he sees people's spider veins begin to kind of dissipate away. I'm not saying yours is going to disappear if you got them, but he's seen that because this begins to repair all of what age has done to your arteries and your vascular system. So your heart is going to get younger as well. I had a friend of mine that had a stretched aorta and he was going to go in for surgery, 12 weeks on the patch, not thinking about that, goes in for surgery. They said, oh, man, Mitch, your heart no longer needs surgery because it went from 35% stretched to 5% stretched. I mean, that's amazing. And, and so the brain becomes balanced. I remember I put this patch on, I was under a lot of stress. And running an 18-man advertising company that no longer was worth what it used to be because before COVID, I could have sold it, retired. After COVID, the advertising industry changed, and now I couldn't. And I had to go figure out a way to reinvent my company after 10 years of building it up to start over again. And it was scary. And the stress I was under was crazy. And my stress went down about 85%, literally. And the gap, the difference of that, I got a gift I didn't even know existed called living in the present. Because as a business owner, I thought the fear, anxiety of making payroll and driving to go do better and try to succeed and win, you fed on that just to live, which crowded every bit of any kind of enjoyment of just life. Go on a cruise, I was thinking about work, right? Now I go on a cruise and I'm there. When my wife and I travel, I'm there. When with my 11 grandbabies, which we just had all 10 of them. We had 10 of them at the Strawberry Festival down here in Florida. And then I took them all. I paid the way to go see a Forrest Frank concert. Had a great time. And I was there. Man, what a gift. And that's 42 months I'm on this patch, 2.5 weeks in. What a blessing, right? So the brain becomes balanced. Check out my wife here, talking about collagen production. Look on the left. Here we are, June 22. We got on the patch August 2022. So 2 months before we got on the patch, her hair was getting shorter. Now it's up to about here. Now look at it just a few months ago. Her hair and her face and her complexion is even better. And, my hair is thicker. And not that I had a lot to begin with, but it is. And, and we just are refreshed, because our bodies are thanking us by being healing, repair, and restoration. Heck, we haven't had any cavities. I'm not saying it's got for you in 42 months. I never had cavities until I got my teeth whitened about 8 years ago. And after that, I started getting cavities every year, little ones all over. Like, what the heck? Well, that stopped once we began to wear the patch. Had no idea that was even going to happen. So my wife nor I have had cavities in that time frame. You have stem cells at the base of your teeth. And then my gum pockets, which were receding above my canine teeth, front and back, both front, top and bottom. I could put my fingernail right below because your tooth indents in where the gums hold them, and I could see it, and it was hard to brush it. And well, that's all filled in. I mean, that's crazy. Wow. So thank God for that. I didn't know that was going to happen for me either, and I didn't feel that. Right. So people say, "Hell, Ken, I'll wear the patch for 30 days. I feel some. I'll wear." I said, "Listen, please don't. I'm not going to take my time to help you because that's not going to do anything. I don't need you wearing a patch when it's doing something for you. If you don't feel it in 30 days, then you're going to tell everybody it didn't work." Because I'm so glad that person didn't go to my friend and tell me it didn't work. My friend didn't tell me because my friend called me, told me it worked, and for her, and it did, and for her sister with bone-on-bone knee pain. And so I said, "Oh my gosh, this is awesome." And now, this thing has spread to over 115,000 people. For me, just sharing with one person here and one person there, word of mouth is still the most powerful form of advertising. I have no idea who those 115,000 people are. They don't even know my name, never heard my voice. Maybe a few hundred of them over a period of 3-4 years. But word of mouth is a gift. And when you got something that everybody else needs and no one else has, you got an opportunity to get the word out, right? And without you having to make it happen. So you wear the patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So you can put it anywhere on the body, but when they tested it for the patent, they tested it on the back of the neck, and then they tested it again, 2 inches below the belly button. You can wear it anywhere in the body though, because light exists throughout the body. The key is 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So 12 hours on, then take it off, throw it away, wait 12 hours, put it on the next day. It's 12 on, 12 off. Really easy. It takes 5 seconds in the morning, 5 seconds after dinner. No burpees, no going to the gym, nada, 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 right? And for less than the price of a a cheap cup of coffee at Starbucks, cheaper than that actually, or less a day, which is absolutely a gift. And so the testimonies, I mean, are spectacular. What is it that you're looking for? I had a friend of mine who had two frozen shoulders, couldn't golf for 14 months with his daughter, who had a golf scholarship. And 5 days in, he calls me, Ken, what's up, Andy? He goes, I'm back on the golf course. I'm like, no way. He said, wait. I'm like, that sounds amazing. My daughter had given birth to her third child. She had postpartum hair loss. She had just postpartum emotional issues. She had brain fog, lack of energy, and she was a one patch wonder. Okay, we do get this. 1 in 5, 1 in 8 people, like they'll feel something like the next day. My daughter calls me, Dad, I just cleaned all the drawers out in the girls' room. I cleaned their closet out too, and my brain fog is gone. I'm like, Brittany, that's amazing. I've been wearing this for a week. I don't feel nothing yet. And but I got to be the miracle for my daughter. Here's my daughter running an infant, two other small children, a husband, and she's got brain fog. She's got low energy, right? That is not good. And I didn't realize that by me calling her to introduce this to her, that I'd be the next miracle for her, changed her life. And then she further had another baby, and she wore the pass the whole time. And that little, he's now over a year old. And man, that little Trent, he's precious. I mean, he's amazing. So praise God. And I could go on about testimony. My autistic granddaughter, one of my nonverbal, non-focus. Uh, all of a sudden, first day put the patch on her, and to the amazement of all of us, she began to focus to her therapist. What's with Leanna? How is she now focused? You know, and over time, because before when I pick her up at the age of 2.5, she wouldn't look at me or acknowledge me or anybody. She'd just be on her own in the world. Now I pick her up, she looks at me, she'll smile, and so a little bit of talking, but such major improvement, such hope. And so what a blessing. What kind of hope is it that you're looking for? For you. And are you thinking about people you love and care about your life? I'm talking like things like for older folks, dementia, Parkinson's. We've seen, oh man, just wonderful things. It's just a blessing. But most people that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years of age, they're feeling age. They're looking for energy. They want to sleep better. I mean, most of us sleep so much better. We dream more vividly, which means we're sleeping more better. We sleep and get up feeling much better. We walk around with way more energy, and these are just gifts, And so we tell people, hey, when you first put the patch on, take a picture of your face and then look at it 90 days from now. And in the meantime, begin to pay attention to your fingernails and your toenails because they're going to start growing faster with that collagen production being elevated in the body, which means your cardiovascular, a whole lot more is going on, your bone density. I mean, come on, it's powerful just in that first 90 days, so it's awesome. So listen, when someone wants to know more about the patch, the beautiful thing is we have a website, this is at info.com, that you can send them so you don't have to be the salesman. You can just pique their curiosity, be the preview to the movie. Don't be the movie. You and I aren't experts on this thing. We're simply excited sharers and inviters about this thing to be able to take a look. And so just give them this at info.com. It's got the patent, the studies, doctors chiming on it, testimonials. It's got all kinds of wonderful support to give people the insight that they may need to know. But I tell you, even better yet, simply invite them either to take a look at a private Zoom or at a home party, so they could really belly to belly, excuse me, get to learn more about this, like I'm doing with you guys here. And by the way, I will stay on after if anybody has questions, but you do want to get back to the person. And so let me go on here. As I told you before, how the company shot up like a rocket. And also last year, we earned the Biotech Breakthrough Award for the Stem Cell Innovation of the Year Award. And of course, out of 1,000 companies around the world, 15 different countries, we won it. Of course, no one in the world has this technology, right? And so the key is, what's important to you right now with your health? What is it you like to see? Forgive me for my allergies. This is just, I have a little window of time during the years right now here in Florida for a few weeks where it's just crazy, the pollen. But actually, I'm much better than I used to be. I used to have to take prescription medications to deal with it. I don't now. So that's a blessing. What's important to you? Do you just need to do more research and that's what's important to you right now? And number three, or number two, you think you're kind of getting excited and what's important to you is the health of the people in your family that you love and care about, where you may want to get enough supply to make sure you get on you, your spouse may have some kids or a friend that you feel that it's time to, give this thing a go. And or number one, you say, hey, Ken, listen, I've got some other things that that I'd like to be able to achieve financially. I'd like to be able to. I mean, I've got a child. I'm going to be is getting married. I've got to be able to pay for a wedding. I still have loan debt from college, or I've got whatever. I still have outstanding credit card bills. I still have a mortgage on my house, and it'd be fun to clear and it'd be great to clear. And or I'd like to travel some more, Ken. And because I'll tell you something, my wife and I got blessed in this opportunity. We didn't see it coming because we had no idea the power of compounding efforts through other people being excited about something. And then you and I get rewarded for it because, see, I'm going to show you here in a minute that you can buy patches and also buy them in a way where you can get a little distributor ID with it so that anytime anybody else you introduce this buys them too, then the company's going to reward you for doing that. And then we also have a team that has a simple system that makes it really easy to share this patch. So you can keep your faith first in your life, your family next, your job next, and then this. And don't disrupt that order. We tell people, hey, listen, in the business side of this, if you think about the business, don't even think about changing your job until you're making 2 to 4 times what you're paying yourself. And that's what my wife and I did. Until we were making 4 times what I pay myself. And I made a good six-figure living. We stayed focused on our advertising companies because I didn't need to go work a second job to make all this happen because I can't make the compounding efforts of other people happen, through word of mouth and all plugging into a team system. We have the fastest growing team in the world, not in this company, in the world. And so we were two people about 45 months ago. Now we're over 800,000 people strong, looking to push to 1 million. And we're all just basic people, not salespeople. I can sell, but wouldn't cut it. The majority of people who do well in this are people who just believe in the patch and they're excited, like they believe in a good movie and they share it. And they follow a system to continue to share with other people. So we have a team for that. And then what that does is, as your income begins to elevate, as you're still working your full-time life and doing the things that are important, taking your kids to soccer games and taking your wife on date nights and do all the things that are important in your life, but then this thing begins to catch up and your income on the side begins to go up. Well, you're going to probably feel a little better. You're going to sleep a little better. You're going to have more resources to do a little better. And you know what money does? The beautiful thing about money, as long as you love God and love people and keep it in perspective, is that it gives you this thing called freedom. Like my wife and I, after we began to get blessed in this opportunity, we bought 90 acres in Malawi, Africa last year, and we're able to donate that to a ministry. That's freedom. I didn't have that kind of freedom in my finances to be able to be a blessing to a whole community of people that's going to change their life. Likewise, I was able to, for my 60th birthday, I took all my 5 kids, their spouses, and grandbabies, 23 of us on an 8-day cruise. And I said, listen, guys, let's go make some memories and not worry about a credit card bill. Off with the bill. Just go, and thank you, LifeWave, and I'm not saying that's going to happen for you. Now, here's the deal. I got 3 people on my team, excuse me, and I may have more now. I got to look that make more money than me, which is because the way this system works, for those of you who are number three, I'm talking to you, you're number three, the twos and ones, just hold with me for a minute here. But if you're number three, yeah, this thing, unlike a pyramid, which is illegal, right? This is a respected company, relational marketing company. The person at the top makes all the money in a pyramid, and the bottom people wish they could. No, you get rewarded for the effort gained no matter where you're at. And so that's why people on my team make more money than me. And what this does is this protects our integrity, our good name. And so we have an amazing product that give people the ability to either be what I call wearers, sharers, or builders. They just wear the product, great. Or they can share it with family and friends and, because they're excited and want to help them, or they can build it. Like my wife and I, we just got serious and built it. We're like, hey, this is too amazing. This is legit. And we could use the hope, and I needed a way out. Whereas that I needed to fund my retirement. I needed some security at my age. I wanted some freedom. I wanted to feel like I wasn't going to be working at the supermarket at 70 years of age trying to supplement my income. don't want to be that bagger, and hey, good for them. If I do end up bagging groceries at Publix or whatever, I want to be because I'm well heeled and wealthy, and I just want to go meet some people, share the past with them. So, and one last note on a life wave, I started a conventional business, and in my little company, I had to do $80,000 a month to pay the bills. That's a lot of money for a teeny little company when the weight of it's really on you. And this, I don't have that. And I don't have any employees, overhead, none of that. You don't have that. It is a genius business model because it takes a ton of stress off people in a conventional way. Because the company already makes the patches, they already have a customer service team. We already have a team of leaders and systems that we can plug into. We don't have to inventory patches. I have not a quota I've got to hold to. I don't have a boss I got to submit to. So my wife, she tells me how to dress, and so um, you know, I just have to buy some patches for myself and my wife every month, and that's all that's required for me at this point in order to be able to be super blessed financially and abundantly. And what a blessing! And just think if you put the logic to that for you. And how does this thing start? Well, this company pays 9 different ways. Okay, now just bear with me. This is, for those of you who may want to share it, just FYI, just give you a little quick snapshot. It paid in 9 different ways. And this one way here goes to $25,000 a week. I have people on my team who make more than that, and my wife and I are blessed like that as well. That is crazy. When I first saw that, I said, man, who in heaven's name could ever do that? That seems like pie in the sky, and I had no idea that over time this would build the compounding efforts of other people could take us to that position. Crazy. And what they also do is the company wants to make sure that when people first come in, that they get out of the blocks, they start getting financially rewarded. I mean, like right out of the gate, you get a friend on your left and your friend on your right because you start a left and right team basically of sharing this patch. Well, boom, you're making money. And then we have this business launch bonus that gets that started. And then they've just added more money on top of this recently, which is amazing. And then you get 2 more people started, and pretty much so many times you can have your patches more than paid for at that point. Just by 2 friends on your left and 2 friends on your right. And then this is an unlimited portion. I'm not going to get any detail about that, but this is over 2/3 of the income we make is in just this way here. And the company, what they're saying is, hey, we want to reward you off the people who are being successful in your organization too. Right. And so the more people you have in your organization be successful, the more successful you become. So it helps to create a great culture of success and encouragement. And it's all based on duplication. I mean, it's real simple. It's not what you and I know that really matters. So we don't need to know a whole lot about the patch. We just need to be excited about it and introduce people to see if they want to learn more about it. And that's duplicatable. But trying to become a salesman, that is not. You don't want it. Be the preview, not the movie. That's duplicatable. That's part of our system. And this is why we've grown to be one of the fast growing teams in the world, not in this company, but in any company in the world. And so what do? Well, you determine to get some patches. And there's one more way to get patches on here I'll tell you about in a minute as a preferred just customer. But these are all, you can just be a customer here. And I'm going to start with the premium pack. It's that one here that you get 20 sleeves. And forgive me, I thought I had some with me here. Bear with me 1 second. Let me grab them for you. So this envelope right here is known as a sleeve, and it has 30 patches inside of it, right? And it's got an expiration date of, I'm trying to read this on here. I think it says June of 27. So that's a little over a year away yet. So, and this is a 1 month supply. So what you do is you open it up, and you take a patch out. Oh, there one popped out. Peel it off and stick it on you. And there's your supply for you for 1 month. So, and so what I did, my wife and I, we wanted the biggest quantity of these we could get because we believed this thing was going to work. And we wanted to make sure we had enough for us. Remember, it's 1 month for every 10 years of life. So I want enough for me and my wife and some to share with family and friends. And I wanted it at the cheapest possible rate. I want a good steward of my money financially. Plus, it's a business write-off. I'm like, dude, fine. What's the biggest batch? 20 of these. I said, that's it? Yeah, 20. So I got 20 of these. And what I did is within 10 days, as we began to get excited and began to share this and begin to help get people enrolled, we already got our money back. 10 days. And we're in black. Never look back. And but if we weren't even going to do anything with sharing this for financial gain, Uh, and because we shared it because we cared about our family and friends and believe they needed it. Financial gain was a secondary benefit. But I share this with people. I have people sign up all the time and they'll get a 20 pack because they want to have it at the lowest possible rate, and they want to make sure they wear it 1 month for every 10 years of life. If they're 70 years of old and you got a couple, there's 14 months right there, right? And now they got some extra, so they've got some to be able to make it through at least the next, well, how many months is that? Sorry, it's 14 months. Seven, yeah, that's seven. Yeah, so they have an extra to share after their 7 months, and so if you're just looking, and you may have a family of several people, well, you're going to need probably a 20 pack just to get an annual to make sure you got it. But also, if you begin to share it, what's really awesome too is that what I do is I'll when I sign somebody up and enroll them, I'll place one with them so they can begin to wear it then, and when they get theirs in the mailbox, they can give it back to me. So it's called place and replace. So I loan them to them and they get them back. And if I had an extra bunch on hand, that's great. And these purchases are one-time purchases. I can't buy that 20 sleeves again. It's a one-time purchase. And so whether I want to do it for the health of it to get the lowest possible price point, or if I'm going to build a business so I have extra to make sure I have to wear and to share, then I'm going to get that 20 pack. And if that's too much, you can always buy the 11 pack for $9.75. Gets still at a wholesale rate of $89. Listen, the retail rate on this is $150. So these are wholesale rates. And the continued ongoing preferred rate and wholesale rate, if you don't buy these one-time kits, is $99. So it's still a great savings. And by the way, if you want to get paid all the ways the company pays in this company, then you either get a advanced or advanced plus or a premium, the 6, 11, or 20 pack one time, and make sure you get on a 2 sleeve monthly subscription, which is all month to month. Like you can click off anytime. It's a one-click cancel, 30-day back money guarantee at any given point, so you're never locked in. That also protects our good name and integrity, so we can help our friends get started and want to let them know, hey, listen, get a supply of patches to get started. Do you need a 6, 11, or 20? And then make sure you don't run out by keeping 2 come in every month thereafter, except on that 20 pack, you can actually push it out 90 days and start that thing then. And you can do the math on that. That saves some definitely additional savings there. So that premium pack is usually the best way to get in on this and give yourself the runway you deserve on wearing this long enough, and then making sure the people you love and care about, they're doing that too. And then what's going to happen is the miracles are happening. And then now, if you just came in for the health of it as a number two, you're like, okay, hold on a second here. I'm calling my best friend up. They got to wear this patch. I want to get them on a Zoom to see this too because they need to get some patches for themselves too. Right? What you don't want to do is you don't want to give one of these to somebody and they never paid for it or saw this presentation, because I tell you, majority of time I've ever done that, the people don't wear them. They don't wear them because they don't believe or see what you did because they haven't seen a presentation like this. So the key is they need to get their own patches. And same thing, my kids or anybody else, they need to get their own patches. So just FYI. Now, if any of those rates are just still too much for you because things are just super tight, and I have to say, doesn't that make you mad that right now in your life that maybe things are super tight? My wife and I have been there. I remember for 4 years we were at a point back in 07, 08, 09 where we didn't have enough money to make it almost on a weekly basis. We were in foreclosure, a whole lot of things, but God completely delivered us out of that without filing bankruptcy. But the point is, we've been when we had not enough money. And listen, we want to help you. Make sure you can access getting the patches so you can get a 3 pack here for $295. It at least gives you a 90-day supply for one person. But if you're married, then you can get the 3 pack, one for you, one for your spouse, one to share, and then make sure you get on that monthly subscription at 2 a month for $199. They're at the bottom. Now there is a last option here. That things are super tight. You can get, it's not on here. It's called a preferred customer, and so where it's $99 a month, period. But that's not just for you, or maybe it's you and your wife, and but you don't get an ID that if you begin to share it, you can upgrade to one of these and begin to do that if you want to. But just want to let you know there's some options, and the person who invited you, they can share that with you and get those questions answered too. But the key is getting enough supply so you can get started, get wearing it, and get your loved one who's with you or in your home wearing it too. Because the cool thing is that they're going to have a different result than you are, and each are going to start encouraging the next when you begin to see things happening for you. Like when I saw my wife's hot flashes, 10 to 20 a day she was having 10 to 20 day hot flashes while she was wearing the patch. And day 21 was September 9th. It was a Monday, a holiday, 2022, and Labor Day, and they pretty much came to a screeching halt. I didn't have hot flashes, but man, I tell you what, I'm so glad that this thing helped my wife's hot flashes because the thermostat in her bedroom got much easier to manage, and I felt so good for my wife because she had menopausal anxiety, fight or flight syndrome. That went away. It was awesome, you know, and then her hip pain months later, after 5 years giving birth to, after years of giving birth, months later, after years of giving birth to 5 children, that went away, and then they said, oh, my wrist pain is gone too. Like, when did that happen? So, and it's key that we have a health tracker that if you get on this, it's a 90-day health tracker that gives you the ability to look at week one, week two, week three, month one, month two, month three, and begin to track all the little things that are going to happen for you. From age spots to your sleeping, to your fingernails, to your hair, to your face, to things going on inside of you, and maybe blood work you're looking for. But you can begin to track this so you can put a value to just how powerful it is as you begin to wear this month by month. And as you get past that 90-day mark and your body begin to thank you. My wife doesn't have to wear cheaters anymore. We don't know when that happened, but it happened sometime in probably the first year. And so, this is the power of wearing this patch. Well, hey, we have a team and we have an opportunity for you to plug in that the person invited you can share more with you on. And the key is, what is it you'd like to do? How do you see yourself getting started? The sooner you get this patch on you, the sooner you get the miracle on you, and the sooner you can begin to share with people you love and care about, the sooner you're going to be able to see the miracles that are there waiting for you, all based on the science of what this can do for you. So, hey, it's been an opportunity of a blessing for me to be with you. And so what I will do is I'm going to stop the recording here. And if there's some of the folks I may have invited and you'd like me to stay on to answer some questions, I can do that too. But otherwise, all those of you who got invited by somebody else, please right now get back with them and let them know what you'd like to do. And I just want to know it's been a blessing for me to be with you. Once again, my name is Ken Burke, and I'm here in Trinity, Florida. That's in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. And so it's been an honor to bring this presentation to you. And so I'm going to stop the recording now. And what a blessing it's been to be with you. Have a great night.